I wanted to do this little short video, kind of an equipment review, I guess, or equipment I use. I have people asking me all the time what kind of equipment I use and where I get it, different things like that. So I thought I'd do this video and kind of do a rundown, quick rundown, and hope I can make it short. I initially did one at Merrimack Spring Park, but this particular camera, it's a smaller camera, and it has a very sensitive microphone. So I had all these insect noises in my editing software. I took it down 100% noise reduction, and it still only took out maybe 90%. So it wasn't going to work. It would have been a neat backdrop because it had deer in the background. But anyway, so we're doing it here. It's nice and quiet. Got good lighting. But we're going to start with this here. This particular stringer. I have people asking me all the time where I get these. And I get these at Ed's gas station. And that's the gas station going towards Merrimack Spring out of St. James. It's the very last one on the right. And he sells these in here. Somebody local makes them. I don't know who, but they're awesome stringers. What they do is they use a cable with rubber tubing on it, and a single one, and it's got these hooks that you can hook to your waders or chest pack like I use, and it's got 5 stringer hooks for 5 fish on the ends, and all that's cabled with the rubber tubing. Now I have some that I bought years back when I was living in Springfield, Missouri, that I bought at Bennett Springs, but they made them with a small chain, but they were still using the rubber tubing. Of course, they only had 4 strands, you know, of hooks for hooking trout on. Anyway, that's where I get it. I think they're like 15 and some change. I really like them. They're durable. I ended up buying like 5 or 6 of them just so I have extras. But anyway, that's the stringer that I use, guys. This net is called a wet fly, and as you can see, it's got a super deep basket, and it's got a super huge mouth here, and I like that huge mouth. I caught one that was last year when I was using a shallower basket. It was probably about that length right there, and it was a short handle. This is a long handle, so I can really reach out there and grab them. And the other one was a short handle. In a shallow basket, when I caught that one, it was just an ounce shy of 3 pounds last year. I realized how shallow it was because I had to kind of cover my hand over the net to keep it from flopping out. Because one good thing about these rubberized nets, when you net one up, a lot of times that hook will just pop right out of their mouth. But anyway, I got it online. Of course, it's made in China, but I bought it to, I was looking for a long handle. A lot of people think $50. I think it was 50, 55 bucks. A lot of people think that's a lot, which, I mean, to some people it is, but it's fairly quality made, from what I can tell so far. Like I said, it's made in China. About everything in the world is anymore. But you can see some of the strings starting to loosen up here. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, compared to custom nets, I've seen custom nets going $300, $400, $500, $600, and I just I like to be reasonable in what I use. I didn't used to be. When I was fly fishing, I bought a lot of expensive stuff, fish pond wader bags, fish pond reel bag, And then the chest packs I use are Fish Pond, which they're not cheap, but they're quality made, and I'll show you here in a minute. Anyway, I put the little magnet attachment on the end so that when I put it on my Fish Pond chest pack, I use this particular pack because I like it. It has a zipper pocket in them. It's got a very back pocket, which I'll stick numerous things. Like if I open up a new lure package, I'll throw the package back in there when I can just throw it away later. It's got a zipper bag here and with a zipper pouch inside. It's got another pouch up front where I put my camera keys, or my phone, my keys, and I'll put extra lures. And I got these White River lure holders. I got rubber legs in that one. That's a Cortland, so I can keep quite a few of them in here, and I keep my other lures, which I'll get to here in a minute. Then I've got I took this is actually a CB mic holder. If anybody knows what CB is, it's made by Wilson, and it's got the little hook on here, and I hook it on the front. Put my forceps and my clippers on there. That way I can just pop it right off and take the hook right out of the trout's mouth and just clip it right back on. So pretty handy. And then this front pocket is magnetic, and as you can see, it has a little deal to hold jigs, and I still got rubber legs in there because I used rubber legs for years. I'm assuming you can see all that, but it's and I've got more lure containers in there. These are all 500 super dupers in there. I'm a super duper fan, guys. I love using the super dupers. I got addicted to them, and that's all I'll use anymore. But anyways, finish up this pack, and I did an attachment on the back. I hooked up this deal where I can put my tag holder right here on the side of it, so I just slip my tag in there. I got my old ID in there. But this, I hooked all this up on here and put this magnet on here, and I can take and slap that together like that. Now this particular Fish Pond chest pack, it has the clips, the shoulder clips and the side clip, but I can take this net and slide it right down in this pouch like that. See how it goes in there, and it just holds it right there in place, and it's right on my back. So if I need it, which I don't use it very often, I just pull it right out and then put it back in when I'm done. But these Fish Pond, I got them, bought my first one. I've got like 3 or 4 of them now. So I bought the first one at Bass Pro. I have another one that's just like a shoulder, one-sided shoulder that holds it on your chest, and it's a little bit smaller. It doesn't hold quite as much, but it is cheaper. It's like $75 for that one. This particular one here is $150, or it was. I ended up buying 1 or 2 extras because when all this junk hit a couple years ago, I started to foresee things in the future that hey, we're going to have shortages and stuff may be hard to get a hold of. And it's the same with the net. I ended up getting a couple of these. I don't know how easy they're accessible to get a hold of, but I really like these packs, guys. It's worth the $150 to me to spend, because as much trout fishing as I do, it's probably paid for itself a couple times now. So that's the rundown on the chest pack. That's Fish Pond, and then the net is called Wet Fly. I got it off Amazon, I believe is where I got it. And then I wanted to show you here. I use these lures called a Super Duper. That's the copper color, if you can see it, and it's the 501. The 501 copper. Now I also use the 501 in the gold prism. It has like a little sticker on sticker type thing. It has little swirls in it, and they call it a prism. But it flashes in the water, and they really like this copper redhead too. I caught this morning. Caught my limit. Actually caught every one of them. I think I caught 11 total. Something like that. I don't remember now. But caught them all in the copper. And then they have another one that I use that is, I thought it was called a solid gold, but it ended up being a brass. They call it brass. Looks solid gold to me, but anyway. I like those three particular colors. Here the past month I've really been using that copper a lot because they seem to really like it. Some days it's slow with the copper. I'll switch to gold and they'll hammer on in. Now let's go to the rods that I like to use. I use a 4-foot 8-inch ugly stick. Now, jigging all those years, I was always looking for a rod that had a really good tip for jigging. And I mean, that's kind of important to have a rod like that to me. So that's how I was selected with this particular rod. And I liked them so well, I ended up ordering like, I think I've got like 6 or 7 of them now. But I buy them at Walmart. I bought them at Walmart. The first couple I bought at Walmart, and I bought some through Shields because Walmart sold out of them pretty quick. And I bought them last year. The tips are super sensitive. See how you can just barely move that tip, and that's great for jigging. You can get that kind of hard there at an angle, but I can get it really going good for jigging. Of course, I haven't jigged at all this season. I've been using that little bitty Super Duper right there. That's a 501, and that's the one I caught all the fish on this morning. And then when you buy these, the rods are a little more expensive. I think close to $40, might be $40 for just the rod. So I bought the combo with the Shakespeare reel, but I don't like Shakespeare reels, so I took them off and I bought this is the Shimano 500 series, and then I've got a Fluger number 5, and I've been wanting to get a President Fluger. Those are pretty nice reels too. I use 2-pound test line. A lot of guys want to use 3 and 4. That's their thing. When I first started trouting fishing in the late 70s, early 80s, I used a cheap rod and reel. Used transparent sewing thread, which was rated at 1 pound, maybe 1.25 pounds, 1.5 pounds. Had an old timer tell me, he said, if you can catch them on transparent sewing thread, you can catch them on about anything. So, but I won't go bigger than 2 pounds. You got people out there using 4 pound. I think it's too heavy myself, but people say they catch them on it. Now, these reels, when I bought them separate, I think they're $30, $40. So I'm paying about $35 for the combo. And like I said, I take the reels off because I don't like the reels, and I buy these separate reels to put on. And I sliced my finger this morning and it's already bleeding again. Anyway, so they also sell the 5-foot in this rod, and there's a few people who's got the 5-foot. I prefer this 4-foot 8, and super nice rod. It's very sensitive. That glass tip on the end. We're jigging all those years. I thought I had to be elevated so I could see the trout take the jig and set the hook. With this one here, you don't have to. I mean, if you can feel just the slightest little nudge, that's how sensitive that tip is. And you set the hook. And of course, like I said, I haven't used a jig all season so far this year. Haven't even tied one on. I've been using these super dupers. I don't have a reason to change right now. So the trout just hammer them. Some days are slow, but I'm usually catching 6 or 7. I'll release back the smaller ones, you know. So anyway, I got 2 3-footers here that match that. This is the little 3-footer, and I have a Fluger reel on it. If anybody's interested, I do have. That's what that Shimano 500 series looks like. Okay, super lightweight reel. I really like it. And you're probably wondering why I have so many extra rods. Over the years, I've had a nasty habit of breaking the tips off. I had 2 of them broke last year from a disaster incident that we were supposed to be camping, and somebody else's dog broke the tips, and they only replaced one. So, but that's all right. I was forgiven. So anyway, I got the 3-footer here. Of course, you can see I'm using the gold super duper on that. I think that's the prism, maybe. You can see the little prism on there. That flashes real well in the water. But I'm using the Fluger reel. That's the number 5. This is a 3-foot rod. It's called a dock runner. It's the ugly stick too. It has a little glass tip. It's actually a nice fishing rod, but I love it for trout fishing because it's a lot of fun catching them on this little 3-footer. A little harder to cast. You know, it'll take you some time to learn to cast it right and get a good cast on it. But you hook into a trout, you know, especially a decent one, 2 pound, 2.5 pound. It's a lot of fun catching them on this little bitty tiny thing. And I think I gave combo when it was the same. It was a combo series with the Shakespeare reel, and of course I took it off. But I think I had to order these online because I seen them online. I was like, man, I like those. So I think the combo was maybe 40, 45 bucks, and I'm assuming because it's a smaller rod. But like I said, it's a nice fishing rod. It's called the Ugly Stick Dock Runner, and the other one is the Ugly Stick 4'8" combo. So if anybody's interested in this equipment, this is what I use. And I've got a cheaper White River wader bag that I put my waders in. I decided, you know, I've had Sims, Orvis, the high dollar guide wire from Cabela's. That was before they merged, or before Bass Pro bought them out. But I got the wader bag at Bass Pro, I guess 50, 60 bucks. You know, I've had like I said, I had the fish pond wader bag, and those were like 200 or something. And the real bag was like 200. But I got away from all that more expensive stuff. I had the expensive Orvis and Sims waders, like I said, the Cabela's brand guide wire. And when I got to where I didn't have the time to fly fish anymore, I got rid of all of it. So now I end up finding these Frog Tog waders. Are like 69, 79 bucks for a pair. They're super comfortable. I really like them. I have a pair of Cadis. I like the Cadis. They're like the PVC type, breathable type wader. But when I put them on the first time, and I wear a size 10, and they were like a huge 11 or 12, and so I was having to scuff my feet to walk in them. So I asked, I bought them at Ed's. I asked Ed's about it, and they said they'd called the manufacturer, asked them what the deal was on it, and they said it was that they did them that way so you can wear a shoe inside them. And I bought some water shoes. Well, the water shoes are kind of more skin tight type of shoes, so I was like, I don't think they're gonna work either. So I'm about to buy some kind of a shoe to wear in them because I really like them. And but anyway, guys, this is kind of a quick rundown of what I use for my equipment. Everybody has their own preference. This is just quality made stuff. I haven't had any issues so far with any reels or rods, either one. No issues with any of the other stuff. So I like to kind of keep it that way. But I hope you like. I hope this video is informative. And when you're using these super dupers, you want to reel them in slow. They have the 500s, which I originally started using, and that's what got me hooked on them. And I started using these 501s, and then they got the 502s, which they're hard to find. A buddy of mine that I fish with every Saturday and Sunday morning down there, he gets a hold of them, and then I get the 503s, which I've been catching trout on the 503s too. It's just a little heavier. It's not something you let sink like you let this 501 or the 500. But anyway, guys, that's a quick rundown. Everybody's asking, I thought I'd do this video, and that way everybody could kind of get an idea of what I buy all these lures at the Merrimack Spring store or Ed's gas station, and then buddy of mine, old high school buddy of mine, he has a shop out by the campgrounds, Pleasant Acres and Merrimack Country Store campground. It's called Old School Market, and he sells them there as well. So guys, if you want to try these super dupers, I'm hooked on them. I'm consistently catching fish. I have people say, I can't catch nothing on them. Well, you're either reeling it too fast or something's going on. You're not presenting it to the fish right, because I'm consistently catching fish with them. And I used rubber leg jigs for years, but that repetitiveness over the years finally got my arm to start hurting. Late last summer, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to try these out, because they were given. A couple of them were given to me by a couple of young guys when I asked them what they were using. And of course, it took me a while to change. I didn't use them rubber legs on. I consistently caught fish on them. But so I switched it up, gave my arm a break. Of course, just reeling in a lure doesn't hurt anymore. But I knew it was that repetitive jigging. And so you can do it a little bit with this one. It's just harder to do with a shorter rod. And I caught a couple last year after I bought this with jigging. So guys, that's the rundown on my equipment that I use. Everybody's always asking, I thought I'd do this video, kind of make it an informative, educational video, give you a rundown of what I use, and can check it out. Like I said, it's my preference for what I like to use. I consistently catch fish with the rods and the super dupers and the reels and 2-pound test line. And it's nice having that longer handle deep basket net. I super love it. And the chest pack, I got 4 of them. I originally bought the first one when they first come out with them, because I was looking for something different than a vest. I don't like the vest. It's not really. I used vest all them years, and they just get wore out with carrying extra things. And the fish pond has a vest, but I don't particularly care for it. It has kind of the pouches on the sides. It's not a full vest. I just like the two different, just the one shoulder chest pack I have. It's okay, I don't use it that much because I prefer this particular one, and I think it's called the, what is it called? Yeah, I forgot now. I'd have to look it up. Somebody asked, I'd have to look it up. Anyway, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoy the video. Talk at you later. Been going trout fishing again in the morning. So this is Labor Day weekend, 2022. Y'all have a good weekend. Hope you catch more fish. Talk to you later.